last few seconds of the first half. And there's the half-time whistle as Terry Butcher punches that ball away in anger because it's been a frustrating and disappointing first half for England. A goal down after 5 minutes by Rantanen, with a real job to do here in Helsinki in this World Cup qualifier. In a moment we get the views of Jimmy Greaves and Ian St John with Jim Rosenthal after the break.
Here in the south of France, amid the well-heeled and the well-keeled, the most valuable currency is not gold or silver, but plastic. Though it has to be a certain type of plastic.
Monsieur? No.
No use being a high roller if the roller won't roll. And you can't even say it with flowers.
No.
If your money doesn't talk. The fact is, Barclaycard is welcome at 3 times as many places as certain charge cards I could mention. And what's more, you don't need to be a big wheel to carry one.
No matter where you bank, apply for a Barclaycard now.
Well, it's done. I've sold the company. And to show you I'm not as mean as you all think I am, I bought you each a car. For you, my darling, a nippy little runabout that'll be more frugal with my money than you are. Richard, for you, a car with a large boot. Cheers, Dad. Oh, said you could do with a large boot. Emily. What else for you but a car that is beautiful and as white as mountain snow? So, there we are. A car for each of you.
The Volkswagen Polo. It's a lot of cars for a little money.
It's yours on Monday, Richard. Yours on Tuesday, Emily. Yours on Wednesday.
In the bleak midwinter of 1982, the Highlands were right in the thick of it. Most people couldn't move. Some couldn't even stop. One Scot who braved this Antarctic was our own Mr. Morrison from Perth.
The golden key policy covers all that.
He was out every day settling claims, in the cold and in the wet. After the frosts, it was burst pipes that brought people flooding to our door. Mr. Morrison and his assistants stayed open all hours, helping to sort out the problems, despite the fact they had a few of their own. Commercial Union. We won't make a drama out of a crisis.
Once there was just one Purcell automatic. But then Purcell Automatic got a brand new system including a biological ingredient for unbeatable performance at lower temperatures, with Purcell Care for your clothes and machine. But because some people prefer a non-biological powder, there's still original non-biological Purcell Automatic. So there are now 2 Purcell Automatics, biological new system with the green flash, and non-biological original with the blue flash. So however you prefer to wash, you can still make Purcell Automatic your automatic choice.
Sand racing tomorrow afternoon, St Juan's Bay.
Our team has got a game today, and we can hardly wait to play. Coca-Cola is there, it's a moment to share that'll keep you refreshed all the way. Coca-Cola is it, when you want to feel refreshed. Coke is it, and when you're thirsty, all the best. Coke is it, the biggest taste you'll ever get. Coke is it, Coca-Cola is it.
Well, just before we look back at that first half from Helsinki, some important football news in today that Manchester United's Kevin Moran will collect his FA Cup winners' medal, this despite being sent off in Saturday's final. The Challenge Cup Committee decided the shame of being the first player dismissed in an FA Cup final, the embarrassment of being waved away from the Royal Box without collecting a medal, and a 2-match ban from the start of next season were sufficient punishment. A decision I would think most people would agree with. So, Finland won England 0 at half-time. I'm sure many of you won't have been able to see all of the match. So, before we hear from Ian St John and Jimmy Greaves, here are the best moments so far from the first 45 minutes of this World Cup tie.
Aki Lahtinen, who had 4 seasons with Notts County, the number 2 with the throw for Finland. One throw there, allowed to go a long way, and pushed under the post, and a goal for Finland, scored by number 11, Rantanen, after Shilton had pushed the header onto the post, and exactly the start that England did not require.
Shilt's got a hand to it, but it just touched on the post. It was a great header. The lads come in very late, and the lads followed up and smashed it in the back of the net.
And Rantanen then, the number 11, gives Finland the lead with 5 minutes gone. With Trevor Stephen, played towards Francis. Wilkins going outside him. Wilkins. And a deep cross towards Mark Haitley. Can Barnes get in? Can Trevor Stephen? Oh, there was a chance there. And a good chance too. Kari Ukkonen with the throw for Finland. Rautiainen. Ukkonen, who's got a good left foot. Oh, Anderson only half got that one away. And Shilton saving from Turunen. But Stephen in very quickly for England, quickening the pace a little bit and finding Trevor Francis, looking to get it onto his shooting foot. Oh, and the keeper made a mess of that one, but fortunately for him, the sweeper and skipper, Kiimalainen, was on hand. Francis again. Can he get it on the turn? The shot! Fine save.
OK, then 1-0 to the Finns. Ian St John, must come to you first of all. Your words of caution at the start, well justified.
Well, yeah, well founded at the moment, Jim. England are obviously not playing too well, you know, but I must say this, I think that in the second half things will change. I mean, they've got to change, really. But the Finns are not a bad side, Jim, and I think probably deserve to be 1-0 up.
I'm shocked and stunned. Shocked and stunned. Yeah. No, I don't think so, really, Ian. I think we should have pulled it back by now. Really. Right. We're not playing very well.
No.
And if you look at it, there's no reason why we shouldn't have been back in the driving seat, but we're not, and that's it.
OK, let's have a look at the vital moment in the first half. It was the goal. It came very early on. The England team dreaded an early finish goal, Jimmy.
No one jumped here, did they? With the flick on, and it was a great header. The second header was a great header. Great save by Peter Shilton. They had followed it in. We was all watching.
See, that's a move that England themselves work on, Jim, don't they? The long throw-ins and the flick-ons and people coming in at the back post, and they get caught with it themselves.
They got caught. I don't think they realised... They didn't seem ready for it, did they?
No, they didn't.
They were still playing themselves in.
Caught very cold early on. The first goal that England have conceded in the World Cup, and just a couple of minutes later, Ian, it was very nearly 2-0 down, wasn't it? Some good work from Peter Shilton, I think we're going to see here.
I think the Finns have been attacking very well down the left-hand side of the field, and that was a good ball over the top. And actually, the lad there didn't really get a hold of it at all, did he? Miskicked it. But, I mean, England are all over the place.
Yeah,
all over the place.
They are indeed. I mean, look there, they're still in disarray, aren't they?
I mean, for a team not to have lost a goal in the World Cup, you know, defensively.
Now, you say, Ian, England are all over the place. Why? What's going wrong at the back there, in your view?
Well, I don't know. I mean, the two fullbacks who played very well in the last game, didn't they, in Romania, I don't think are playing well. You know, I think Anderson, especially at right back, seems to be half and half all the time. He's neither on the player or closing in on the people in midfield. You know, he's getting half and half.
They're not marking anybody, are they?
Right, I know that you hope things are going to change in the second half.
Yes.
I'm certainly a lot of England fans do as well. Don't forget, then, we have the second half live from Helsinki, still to come, and we're going to be back with you in just a moment.
Smith's Potato Crisps. So good, every potato wants to be one.
Sold already. I don't know why I bother.
Well, if you must have a sunbeam, I'll find it.
I must.
You'll find quite a few in here.
If you're after something special, your local paper could let you down. You'll find a much wider choice of everything in Exchange and Mart, from Alpines to anoraks to amplifiers. More than any other magazine. Exchange and Mart every Thursday. Why tie yourself down?
One morning, A Volkswagen engineer found what he'd been looking for all his life. A really terrible road. So he bought it and took it home. Cobblestone by cobblestone. Pothole by pothole. The villagers were pleased to see the back of it. Now it's the track where we test all new Volkswagens. You may think the roads round your way are tough, but they're not as tough as a Volkswagen.
To celebrate the 100th anniversary of the motor car, Castrol are making a very special offer. When you buy this can of Castrol GTX, we'll give you an extra 10%, absolutely free. Look for the big new can of liquid engineering. There's a lot more in it for your engine.
CPT, a word processing system to suit you, one step at a time.
CPT will analyze needs, define problems, and provide solutions. CPT wants you to be comfortable using it. One of the most respected names in the world of word processing, CPT will communicate with other word processors, computers, even mainframes. Let's work together.
CPT provides training and has skilled engineers to provide a full technical backup right here in the Channel Islands. Ring Ruth Curzon on Jersey 73999 for CPT.
Technics カセットテープ原音への旅立ち
So Finland 1, England 0. The team's still not out for the second half in Helsinki. That gives us a chance to have a look at another England miss, and a miss by Trevor Stephen. Jimmy, when Mark Hateley got involved really for the first time.
He did, yeah. He went up with the keeper, and we'll talk about him in a minute. But as you can see, the keeper drops it. John Barnes gets it back, and Trevor really didn't steady himself at all. He came in a little bit hurried and knocked it well over.
This goalkeeper in Ollie Hooten that we've featured in On the Ball, I mean, something that gives sort of continual source of encouragement for England.
Actually, Greavesy thought he was a Scottish second division goalkeeper the way he was playing, but
I did.
He really is. He's not good in the air. England have got to get a service, and Hateley's had one header, one challenge really, and that's all he's done.
I think the important thing is that the number of crosses that we've had, including corners, where everybody's missed it, including their defence. Well, that's their problem. Our problem is that we've got to get forwards in there to get a touch to it, and it's quite amazing how we haven't done it.
See, I think England should become a little bit basic, if you like, Jim. Just get the ball in there. They've got a big 6'2" centre forward. He'll not, because they'll get goals with his goalkeeper, a certainty.
OK, well, I've just been told that the teams are now out on the pitch in Helsinki. We go back to the Olympic Stadium there with Mike Channon and Brian Moore.
A welcome back again to Helsinki. So welcome back to Helsinki. The teams on the field. Finland leading then by 1-0.